Hi, I'm Graeme, Chief Exec of SCMA. It's been about a week since my last video update, so I thought I'd take time to do another short update for you, largely because there's been so much happening. But also, as an organisation, we realise that it's more important than ever that we keep in touch with all of you, our members, at this time. This is particularly important that we include members whose settings have closed, so that you remain up to date, and as soon as social isolation measures are relaxed, we can work with you and support you in getting your business and your setting up and running as quickly as possible. To those of you who chose to self-isolate or felt a need to do so because either you or your family had pre-existing health conditions, please be assured you did absolutely the right thing and we support you in doing that. At this time, your health and that of your family is the most important thing. To those of you who may be frustrated that you've had to close your business and you'd have preferred to stay open, again, we understand your frustration, but equally, we realise that all of us, individually and collectively, have a responsibility to contribute to social distancing at this time. And to those of you who remain open to support children of key workers and vulnerable children, please be assured there's a huge amount of activity going on behind the scenes to match local capacity with demand. Clearly, none of us know how long this situation is going to continue, but our staff all continue to work remotely and will continue to support you as much as we possibly can. In terms of a more general update of what's been happening within the last week, we sent out a snapshot survey to all members last week, really to try and find out what settings were closed, what settings were open, and where they're open, what existing capacity there might be to assist with more key workers and vulnerable children. We had a fantastic response. In less than 24 hours, we received almost 1,900 responses from you, so a huge thanks from us. The information you provided was really valuable in informing our understanding. In terms of the response, of those who responded, almost 50% of settings were open. So we're talking about 930 settings, if not more, at this time. In terms of other updates, towards the tail end of last week, the UK Chancellor of the Exchequer announced a package of support measures for the self-employed. We're still looking at the detail within that. The main sort of headline thing reported from that was that grants will be available to the self-employed for up to 80% of their income, the 80% of the profits, based on the last 3 years' tax returns. Now, clearly, we know that this scheme will not be open to all. There are some groups, for example, if you're in your first year of practice and don't have a tax history to inform return, you'll unfortunately not be eligible. Similarly, for those of you who are eligible, payments will not be made until June. Now, for a lot of people, this will be very problematic, and we completely recognise and get that some of you may have no income or little income during that period. We're continuing to look at alternate sources of income, and we'll share this with you. We're also in ongoing contact with the Scottish Government about this. In terms of other issues last week, we've had a lot of demand from members and indeed parents for advice as to what can be charged at this time, what is appropriate. It's quite difficult for all. What we have largely been trying to do is to suggest that where possible you adopt a pragmatic approach, engage your families on a case-by-case basis, take into account the family income. Some parents may be on full pay, some on no pay, some on part pay, but also it needs to be recognised that childminders may have no income or little income in this period. So we'd hope that in most cases that we could build on the positive relationships you have and reach compromise that works for both. We're all in this together and we need to support each other. Initial response to that statement has been positive, and we'll update you as things go on. Earlier this week, new public health guidance came through in the form of social distancing guidance for educational settings. In simple terms, that's for local authority hubs and childminding settings, which are remaining open to support key workers and vulnerable children. We've shared that guidance with members and will continue to direct to that. Clearly, one of the biggest announcements this week was that the Scottish Government has reluctantly had to decide to temporarily suspend the legal requirement on local authorities to deliver 1,140 hours of ELC by August 2020. This has been a really important policy, which us and many others have been supportive of, and we've been keen for childminders to be involved as much as they can to support their businesses. What that means in real terms was that due to the social distancing measures in place just now, local authorities would not have been able to meet some of the legal requirements that they have. The Scottish Government has been very clear on the fact that it's their expectation that all contracts that are currently in place or were due to be in place from August should continue. We've also been contacted by a number of local authorities who are very much proceeding on the basis that ELC will be available from August, just we don't have the legal requirement behind that. As recently as this morning, we've had an update from Fife that again, procurement will be continuing. So please be assured that for those of you who were trying to get involved in ELC, hopefully the opportunities will remain. Earlier this week, we also had a meeting with Marie Todd, the Minister for Children and Young People in the Scottish Government. It was a really positive meeting during which we updated her on many of the challenges and issues that you face, and we'll continue to do that on an ongoing basis. The Minister was also very keen to pass on her thanks to childminders as a profession for the work they continue to do, and also particularly to those who are supporting vulnerable families and children of key workers at this time. Finally, we're starting to hear some really great examples where childminders and their children have been supporting local communities creatively at this time, clearly within the existing limitations that we all have on us. What we're going to try and do is to share those with you, possibly as part of a Feel Good Friday strand, really just to try and create a bit of positivity when there's so much gloom around it at this time. So thanks for listening. We'll continue to update you. Stay well.